Hi guys, so this is my first Instagram live session ever, and I'm very excited because it is part of an assignment of this amazing program that I'm doing by the Future Food Institute and the Food and Agriculture Organization of the UN. It's called the Climate and Food Shapers Digital Boot Camp, where they're teaching people from different walks of life who have been working towards a more sustainable goal or working towards one of the SDGs set up by the UN. And so today, as my local discovery, I was supposed to interview somebody in my community or my city who has been doing some great work, for the community as well as for the environment, the climate, to preserve the biodiversity of our crops, our soil. So I'm just waiting for somebody from Triple O Farms to come online so I can add them. Let me check. Nope, not yet. Okay. So, but I'm very excited because most people in Bombay, Maharashtra, India will know about Triple O Farms, but I also wanted them, to get exposure or be showcased, their work to be showcased to a more international audience, which is, a lot of the students in my program from different parts of the world. And the first time that I found out about Triple O Farms was last year sometime. They had this festival called the Wild Food Festival in Bombay, and they showcased an insane amount of, greens, herbs, plants, fruits, veggies, tubers, roots, everything that you can think of. And, most of us living in a city would actually never even know that those things existed. So I'm very
आवाज नहीं
Hi. So we have Abhay and Shailesh, who are two of the three partners of Tripolo Farms, and as luck may have it, they're actually at one of their farms today. So we might just get a little sneak peek or a nice panoramic view of their farm. But I think, hi, can you guys hear me?
Yes.
We can hear you, but are you
Yeah, but
able to
I
hear?
can hear, you guys, but there's no video.
Okay.
Oh, the video is
No,
on.
there's no video. Let us reconnect again.
Sure.
sorry, I think they're having connectivity issues because I think the farm is slightly outside the city. But yeah, if you guys have any questions, you all can just put them in the comments here and I will try and keep an eye out because they go by really fast. Uh, but yeah, I wanted them to talk to people about the kind of work that they're doing. Just that they're trying to save so many crops and so many varieties of grains and seeds and vegetables that are almost on the verge of going extinct, or people like us living in cities would have never even known about them if it wasn't for these guys. And so many other farmers now that are working towards preserving the biodiversity of our country, our soil, and so many other things. And they're also working with farmers across Maharashtra, all the way from one border to another. So that's another plus. Let me see if they're back. Come on, internet, don't do this to me today. Hi guys, thank you for tuning in though. This is so nice to have so many people I know and don't know also tuning in. What do we have? Let me see. Thank you, Radhika. Hi, Amanda. Thank you for being here. There we go. Yes.
There we can see the farm. Hi, guys.
Hello.
Hi, how
Hi,
are you?
hi. I'm fine. How are you guys? Can everybody at least see who they're talking to before we get a view of the farm?
Absolutely.
Hello, Abhay.
No,
Yeah,
no,
Shailesh,
no.
yeah.
Hi. Oh, we have all three of y'all. What fun. Thank you.
There's a fourth one as well. He's gone
Oh,
out
there
for
is.
some work. So basically, we have
Oh,
four of us.
oh,
The three of
awesome.
us are here to rack everyone's head today.
No, not at all. I think I'm actually more excited than most people. But yeah, I want you guys to start with just introducing yourselves and Triple O Farms, what the work that you all do. Just tell all of
Uh,
us about that.
okay, so I'm Karan, one of the co-founders. He's Abhay,
Hello.
and he is Sailesh.
Hello.
So I think you guys know these two.
I've
Uh,
met Abhay and Shailesh. I've met you maybe once at the Wild Food Festival, but yeah,
yes, yes, yes. And the fourth one, he's Pranav. He's my elder brother. He's gone for some
okay.
work. I'm not very sure if he'll able to join us here on the live session.
No, no worries.
But right now we are on the fields. We are at the farms. This is where we spend most of our time now, because Bombay is under major lockdown, and this is the best place we could ever be in.
We want it to
Yeah.
be locked down.
Best place to be in. Lockdown in the
Absolutely,
open, so that's the best situation to be in.
absolutely. We'll show you. This is our hut. This is the hut which we've made with the children.
It's a camp over
How
here.
cool.
It was a
Summer
camp.
camp.
What
The kids made the
fun.
hut. Yeah.
Yes,
Wow,
and
what's the material used?
It's mud and the roof is also the mud roof. The mud tiles which come. And it's
Right.
mud and cow dung which has been mainly used. And the bamboo
Wow, so
insides for the support.
the kids actually handle cow dung?
Yeah. It was a challenging task.
Wow. Amazing. Okay, no, that I mean, but it's really cool that they're open to doing that. But
And
yeah,
we've
so
done it in 3
tell
days.
us. Wow, that's amazing. Yeah, so just tell everybody what Triple O Farms does and how you guys started.
Okay. Now, if you would have asked this question 2 years
Lower the
ago,
camera. We can't see you guys. We can only see your heads.
wait,
There we go.
I'll
Perfect.
I'll let them do the talking because they are
Sure.
much better.
okay. Yeah, is it okay?
There.
Is this better now?
Yes. Perfect.
Okay. So about Triple Farms, you would have asked 2 years back or 3 years back. It would have been better. We would have been in a better position to explain what Triple Farms is. Right now, we ourselves are we are so confused about Triple Farms. And one reason being, so many avenues we have touched. And so many avenues we have touched very successfully. So we do not know what
Right.
we are doing exactly. Whether it is school, whether it is farms, whether it is soil, whether it is seed bank, forest conservation, or community building, or self-help groups. In last 3 years, we have been in all these places, doing all of it. So we do not know what to call it. We are not sure about it because we are not exactly into the agricultural mode, though most of it looks like agriculture. क्योंकि हमारा वो biodiversity दिखता है, so many rice, so many wheat. So people think that we are into the agriculture part of it,
Right.
but that's not the case. Agriculture is just one of it. What Triple O Farms does, we are an accidental venture, and we did not intend to form this. We did not design to form this, and we still do not have the design for it.
Right.
And why I'm saying so is because when we started it, we were just trekkers moving around Sahyadris. We were avid trekkers, and we have seen the best of Sahyadris. So it is only when we were fearing that this is not going to be the same what we are seeing, we fancied our chances on growing jungles, which never happened actually. We tried.
Actually, that happened mainly after 2006. In 2006, there was a forest act which had come out where the local Adivasis and the local people over there were allowed to use the forest resources to chop the jungles. Basically, for wood, for food, for farming, they tried chopping the jungles down. So after 2006, like going to the same place, we used to see the jungle falling down every year. So that is where the main change, by 2011-12, the blue waters on the top of the hill had become green. So that was the main change that we saw over the years, and that is where we started.
And a law was just supporting to what happened to the people who are staying on the mountains. I mean, people who are staying on the mountains, they do community farming, and they do not farm for you and me. They farm for their own community. The communities are very small as just 100 people staying inside that tribal hamlet.
Right.
So they were not the commercial farmers as such. And they never required money at all. They never had any kind of money. It was all barter system. So they'll just share amongst themselves whatever they wanted. All the needs were shared, and they never fell ill. Kabhi koi bimar nahi pada. So if you ask the older generation, they do not know what is all those diseases what we are having right now.
Right.
So there was, and then their schools were the forest. I mean, they never went to any so-called civilized schools what we have gone through. So they never had anything like spending money, or they never had access to money. It is only after that forest law when we penetrated them and we started telling them to come to a civilized, so-called civilized world. I mean, we forced a civilized world upon them. We got a school to them. We got medical facilities to them without understanding them, without understanding whether they require this or we require them.
Right.
It is then that they needed money for all this thing, and that is when they decided to chop down the jungles. Otherwise, jungle is so sacred to them. They do not have a god. All they have is forest as their god. So Hirwa Dev, they call it as the green god. So they worship the Hirwa Dev. So this is where the whole thing got. I mean, our trekking, all trekking routes, all trekking ways were all governed by the tribal communities. So when when our plate, the food which we used to eat at the top of the fort, it started changing. I mean, it started those aromatic rice or even the bhakris, the flavor of it started changing is when we got concerned about ki kya ho raha hai, kuch to galat ho raha hai. And then we got into this whole field, fancy thought of growing jungles. And it is still fancy, because why I'm saying so is we have not been able to grow jungles, but definitely Triple O Farms have been able to had an impact on putting a pause or say stay on cutting down more of trees. I mean, we have convinced them not to do that by giving them some kind of economy through forest foods. Last year we did that. We did it with Bombay
I was
Canteen.
telling everybody about the Wild Food Festival also before you guys joined in. That you
Right.
guys put so many varieties on display. It was mind-boggling.
Yes. So that is how, I mean, so when you are asking what is Triple O Farms, for us also it's very, very confusing too, because one, we are very few people. We are just 4 guys, and we are trying to touch all the avenues, and nothing has been with the design. It's only accidental. So if you ask agriculture, we have got accidentally into it because our first farmer, Maruti, I mean, he said he's not growing that rice which he used to serve us on that Harishchandragarh, because he said that comes very less now, and I've got access to a new rice which grows lots, and he's got it from some shop
The
seeds from below the mountain. So
Right.
when we promised him that will you grow that rice again, he said, but who is going to buy it? I mean, the traders are not buying that rice, and even if they buy, they are giving me the same price as what they are giving me for this, and this comes in plenty. That is how we first started by giving a market to Maruti. So we started consuming his products. Produce. So we started telling him, "Hum tera kharidenge, tu rice grow kar." And when we helped Maruti out of it, and since I said it's a community farming that happens on the hills, it is not a plateau farming. Like if you see Western Maharashtra farmers, they're all plateau farmers. They're all individual farmers. So you will see all individual success stories coming out of it. I mean, individual names, individual farmlands. But when you go on the hills, they do not farm individually. They have community farming. So all the farm, I mean, they'll farm it, they'll sow the seeds together. They'll retransplant the rice together, they'll harvest it together, and no one can escape that. So that is when we helped Maruti did not stop over there. He said, you will have to help all my farmers over here in the village. And then we went on trying to put up a help to the village, and slowly and steadily what happened is the kind of amount of money they got it. I mean, the other villages started saying, even we are ready to give it to you. And that is when we started, our responsibility towards them grew more than rather than just weekends.
Probably it was the birth of Triple O Farms at
Yeah.
that point.
So-
Yeah,
so,
yes, and I think the best things happen by accident. So yeah,
Yeah.
history is witness to that. So yeah.
Yeah. So this is how Triple O Farms came into the whole thing, and then we would like to mention Ramanjunalai Raju. We saw one of his TEDx kind of a thing because
Poison on the plate.
Poison on the Plate. And it was such a wonderful TEDx. It was an eye opener, knowing that everything that we eat is a poison. That is when we decided to go in search of good food. Apart from that village, we started traveling. So, Reena, we love traveling. Just out of that love and the need for the good food, we traveled 45,000 kilometers almost in just 3 months across Sahyadris.
Wow.
I mean, whether it is Konkan, whether it is on the other side of the Ghats.
Actually, that travel was more to understand what kind of farming used to happen in Maharashtra, what kind of things like, we visited a lot of farmers who are doing organic farming, a lot of farmers who are saving seeds. So that is where we got introduced to a lot of people who are into seed saving and good farming. And that gave us an idea of how exactly we need to change things at a mountain level, like where things are. We didn't have to even, when we learned this knowledge, we shared it with them and they said that they were already doing this. And they used to tell us that this is how we used to do, and they had their own tricks also, as the things keep changing locally. Like if I'm doing something over here to grow something, doesn't imply similar things on a mountain top. It's at a different height, and things keep changing, and the requirements for farming keep changing accordingly.
I mean, you cannot grow apple
correct.
in Maharashtra, and you cannot grow mango on Himalayas. It's very similar to that.
Correct.
So,
You can't have a cookie cutter approach to all of this. You have to see. I think each plot or even each little village would be slightly different in its own unique way. So, yeah.
Right. So while traveling all these 45,000 kilometers, unfortunately, we did not document a single of it. We kept on grasping everything because they kept on putting up names to those grains. कि ये इसको ये बोलते थे और ये ऐसा होता था. And initially we thought it is just exaggerating their grain, but we found all those, most of the grains. I mean, whatever they were explaining, like Sahyadri Black is one of its. I mean, look at the aroma of it, or even millets, or even like very recently we have shown one groundnut, the red color one. Okay, so with that groundnut, I'll tell you, when it came to we got it and we introduced it to the market. People could not believe the color of that groundnut. It can be so red. Most people said, have you applied some color or said? And we, out of innocence, we said, just soak the groundnuts. You'll come to know whether there is color or no.
For a surprise.
And for our surprise, the color came out on the water.
Oh boy.
Pura water colorful ho gaya. And they called us back and they said, you have fooled us and this groundnut has color. And we said, no, trust me. So what happened is, this time, we are giving the groundnuts, and we didn't knew that this groundnut actually gives out the color, and this is a very unique groundnut.
Basically, we not soaked it ever. We were just eating it the way it was, and we never tried soaking it. So that is where.
So this groundnut is very different. So now this time, what we are doing is, when we are putting the groundnuts across to people, we are also putting one along with the shell, saying that even try soaking this, ye bhi pani color chode. We didn't knew this. So itna diversity hai, matlab pata bhi nahi tha ki ek groundnut color bhi nikale. So going all through this, we also collected some seeds. Some were handful, some were bagful, and we also got into connection with few institutes like Bioethanol or other farmers, and good farmers like Two Brothers and all. So we got in contact with them. We got hands on seeds. We also understood how things are, how it should happen, what are the shortcomings and all. And we tried to put it across to the first village where we did it on Harishchandragarh. The first year, again, this is all accidental. The kind of money, the farmers have earned is like what they would have earned in 5 years. So all they got a revenue in 1 year of 5 years. That changed the whole perception of farmers on the hills over there, thinking ki everyone started we never went to the villages. the Gram Panchayats started coming to us saying that we want to do very similar to what you have done to Maruti's village. We are ready to do what you are saying, and that is where it started changing, and that is where. And at that time, Arena, we fell short of seeds.
Basically, when we started, it was 10 or 11 farmers. Actually, first year it was Maruti and then his village, 10 farmers who were convinced to do indigenous. And today, when we are doing things over there, there are people like, the the Sarpanch or the Gram Panchayat comes us to us and they're like, we have 200 families over here. So would you like to work with 200 families? So that's the kind of change which has come. And now we are at a stage where we don't know if we can even, if we tell them to grow for us, but can we actually provide them so much of supply chain? So that is a challenge today. So, that is the things which are now getting challenging, but that is the fun also of the whole, this thing.
And to provide, to make this happen at a larger scale, that is where we thought we should come up with seed banks. We should even grow our own seeds instead of just depending upon seeds that are coming out from outside. So we started having our own seed plots. And what we did is, till today, we haven't charged a single rupee for any seed that we give out. Only thing that we cross verify is she or he a farmer. Are they really going to put it inside the field? And what we request them, it's not even a force. We request them, if we are giving you one handful of seeds, try and give us back 2 handful of seeds so that next year we can give it to more farmers. That is the only thing that we put, and that is how a seed bank concept. It's not a concept; it's a predefined concept. But that is how we got into the seed bank. Now we have 5 seed banks. So when you ask what is Triple O Farms, Triple O Farms started with the fancy of growing jungles. It didn't happen. Then it moved to agricultural sector. We started getting indigenous food. We are doing Gram Sabhas with villages. We try to convince them come back to the traditional way of farming. Then we went on to create seed banks. From seed banks, then we also tried to touch the socio-economic structure of a village. Like most villages, they complain they don't have drinking water after December, or they do not. So all such small things which affect them for a very longer period of time, or which really matters to them, we are trying to touch that. We are also trying to form a school in the tribal belt, and the reason is not to make them civilized.
Basically, a jungle school.
It's a jungle school. The reason is we want to be civilized just as they are. We find that we are not civilized. The whole idea of city is so parasitic.
Where can I sign up? Do you need teachers or like staff at the school or something? Where can I sign up?
You're already a part of it.
But
so the whole idea of city is so parasitic. Unknowingly, not that people are bad. It is just we do not know that we are parasite to most of our farmers, farmlands, even the jungles, forests. Everything is getting cut down to the needs of how city is demanding it. So we, and if you look at the tribals, they are the most open society in the world. They are the most civilized people in the world. And we do not want them to be what we are. We want to be what they are, and we want to learn from them and be what they are.
And it's not only farming; even their community structures are like that. Even their the way they upbring their kids, or the way their the thought processes. Most of the tribals who have been untouched from civilization still have that structures going, and it is quite open and a very nice way of living. It will be surprising the way how much open and modern they are in their heads when we come to know about their structures. It is quite surprising.
So the school is the school, what we are thinking about is not meant for them to teach anything that the civilized world is trying to put or force on the kids over here. We are trying to conserve their language, their trees, their animals, their dance, their art form, and most importantly, their emotion and intention. That is so nice. The community building is still happening on those mountains. If you ask, we do not even know who our neighbor is back here in Bombay. So such a vast difference it is. So we want a school which will preserve or conserve their structure, the tribal structure. We are designing that. So from that, we also moved on to teaching in the schools, like what we did in Polymath School. Bhavesh was really very kind enough to allow us to do that. I mean, it takes guts and courage to go against anything that is not looking normal.
Can you touch
so,
upon the whole little bit about the Polymath School, the work that you are doing there, just for people
Yeah.
who are new here to just understand?
Yeah. Abhay will.
So at Polymath School, basically, the idea was first it came up like farming, like a lot of schools are doing that, grow your own food kind of a thing. But we wanted to go a step ahead, and we wanted the kids over there to understand the economics and the civics behind the structure of village.
Right. Right.
We
I just
basically
want to
made-
clarify to people that this is a school in the city, just so that people get the context that what you're talking about. Let's remind them that it's in Bombay. But
Right, it's in
yeah.
Bhiwandi, right? Yeah.
Right.
So the school had a big ground behind, which was kind of untouched and unused. So what we did is the school again is a very new school. It's just a 2-year-old school. So we thought like when we have the advantage of having small kids in small numbers, we can actually put them into village structure. So we made 8 villages over there instead of just teaching them farming, and we tried to not only farming but put other revenue structures. We were having structures like Devrai. Devrai is a forest of a village. Basically, in the time of droughts or in other times, where villagers can go and get food from the tree directly instead of depending on farming. So
Right.
that was one concept that we introduced. Then there are art forms like we did a Warli art thing there. We were supposed to do pottery, but then the lockdown all started. So pottery was one more thing that we wanted to start doing there. So these are the kind of art forms that we wanted to try and teach the kids. So every village over there, so the kids, when they were divided in 8 villages, they were also structured in like there was Sarpanch which was selected for every village. The teachers of the school were mainly acting like a what do you call is the state government, I would say, not exactly state government, but the first people to complain to or have, if you have any problems, they will solve your problems.
Right.
And then the last level was principals, trustee. They were the last level of people like the head of the whole system, where the whole things goes ahead, like that acts like a central government basically. So kids will understand all structures, and we're trying to even have a farmers market over there, so the people will start understanding the economic structure very well. The kids at a very small age will start understanding the economic structure of the village. So farming was one revenue, pottery and other arts and crafts was other revenue. Then the fruits and the fruits from the trees and the revenues from the trees was a third revenue. So that is what we were trying to explain them in actual ways, like by doing
Right.
it. So that was the whole idea of Polymath School.
Yeah. So when we started at Polymath School, the very first lecture was we told them to draw a village of their dreams.
Right.
Everyone drew the same drawing, and no one copied from each other. The reason why they did the same drawing was because in every family, the concept of village that has been, mind conditioned is very similar. So all of them drew that mountain, then sun coming out. Everyone had that coconut tree very tall, one mango tree, one apple tree for everyone, and there were butterflies.
Wow.
So we told them there is much more to this. What we would do is we'll try to change. We'll keep this as a first picture, and we'll try to see what happens after a year. What would be the second picture?
We'll try to draw again.
So we'll try and draw again, and that is where we introduce kids to a village structure instead of farming structure. We wanted them because पूरा वो जो concept है कि Shah Rukh Khan dancing in that fields or even the village, even the kids know that suicides are happening with farmers. So when we asked them what do you all know about farmers, they exactly spoke about suicides and all. They die, they grow food and they die. They are poor people. So all these are very shocking things. Farmers, not just, if you say farmers are poor people, that's not the right thing. They are, they do not have money is one thing. They are not poor people. Just if you stop the farm produce coming to the cities, who is going to be poor? So
We've realized that during this time. Everybody's realized the value of food and farmers during these 3 months, 4 months, and everything. The focus has moved from luxurious clothes and watches and shoes and bags to real food and vegetables and fruits coming into your house. So yeah, totally get
right. So the most difficult lecture was making them convince, put your hands inside the cow dung to make manure and all. So ये सब उनका mind shackles है ना सब break हो गया, and you won't believe ये सब we just taught them 10% of that gram. 90% was actually evolved through them. Like वो लोग, most of the kids used to go early morning. Instead of going in the classroom, they used to go and watch their farms and talk with their plants. I mean, they would say good morning. Instead of saying that to a teacher, they would say it to their plants. And I mean, they would also ask them, why are you not growing big? Why are you not growing big? So all such kind of इतना माइक्रो इमोशंस जो है ना वो सब उस वक्त पे आया. एंड लाइक मेकिंग देम अंडरस्टैंड कि सरपंच इज नॉट परमानेंट इन अ डेमोक्रेटिक स्ट्रक्चर. सो री इलेक्शन होता है, व्हाई देयर आर रिजर्वेशन, वीकर चाइल्ड को इन्वॉल्व किया जाता है. सो ऑल या even like concept of revenue bank and seed bank. So making them understand. So we have a revenue bank and a seed bank over there. So what kids have, whatever they have sold it through farmers market, it goes into a revenue bank. All they are growing goes into a seed bank. They can borrow it. So all these concepts were growing over there.
Actually, this year, the few seeds, like we were short of few seeds over here in Talasari, and we got those seeds from the bank in Polymath School. So you know, that is the kind of impact. Yeah, so that is the kind of impact we get sometimes.
That's amazing.
So,
I think kids respond to experiential learning a lot more than just books or theoretical stuff that this is how, but until you actually sit and do something yourself, that's when you actually connect with the task or with the knowledge.
The idea was to put agriculture like in their maths, in their geography, in their science, basically.
Right.
You know, if you want to draw a circle, how can we do with help of human beings, help of rope and area of the circle and things like that to imply on the field itself. That's like small things that we can imply on the field, and the nitrogen cycle basically. How can you find out roots which are going to give you nitrogen and things like that? So that was the idea to take the subject ahead. Like the unfortunate lockdown is, but hopefully we'll soon start that.
So even if one student goes back to village and starts farming from Polymath, we have done a successful thing over there. That is our idea, to stop the village drain. I mean, all policymakers are working towards brain drain, but I guess India is not about just brain; it's about villages, right? I mean, 60%. We are. I mean, all our Triple O Farms principles and ethics. Mostly we have derived it from the great Mahatma Gandhi. So when we were reading his books, so according to him, India only lives inside villages. All that city that is happening is nothing but a representation of slavery that we have gone through. It's not the exact India. So
it was saying that if villages perish, India will perish also. You know, that was a very strong word.
Yeah,
and that's
very true.
Yeah, so that is how we got into Polymath. So that is how we got into a school which is in Bombay and studying a village. So Triple O Farms has done something at seed bank level, at the school level. We have also done work at self-help groups, community level. Then we have gone and done. We have created market linking. Like apart from just the produce that we are growing in villages, we have also helped other farmers who were not able to sell and they wanted to sell on their own. For example, the COVID-19. Okay, we are not dealing with any hybrid rice, but in COVID-19, to surprise to most people do not know about this. We have created a market linkage of more than 70 tons of hybrid rice, and the reason why we did this is because during COVID-19, I mean, the government opened up their grain stores, and they were giving out the rice or grains for 2 rupees a kg. How good and bad that is, I won't comment on it. But what happened with that is, the wrong thing happened is the traders started putting up a loot kind of a thing, saying that government is giving me grains for 2 rupees, I can buy from there. So if you are not ready to sell me for 2 rupees, I'll go and buy from there. So farmers started selling their grains at a very low cost, 2 rupees. I mean, it was a very distressed state over here.
Yeah, ethically, I think it's an issue. I think.
Yeah. So that is where we thought, since now we have good connects with the city people, most of the donation drive guys, we caught hold of them and we said that, why don't you all buy, instead of buying it from APMC, why don't you all buy it from the farmers directly? And all they were short of was not knowing from whom to buy. Two, the farmers do not have storehouses like what APMC might have. So their problem was how to gather all that. So we came into the picture where we gathered tons of rice for all the donation drive guys. We created a supply chain wherein they were paying it directly, right? I mean, at that time, 25 rupees was being traded. They were buying 25 rupees, wherein the cost price of the rice was 32 rupees. So all that 7 rupees per kg was taken care by us. So Triple O Farms in all that 70 plus tons has put up 7 rupees per kg. Because we thought if we do not come into that picture for 7 rupees, maybe that thing might not happen. And at least in region like Palghar or a small region like Talasiri Taluka, we have helped.
Right.
I won't use the word help, but we created a market linkage during COVID-19 time. So
That's amazing.
we do not.
And the good part is because of this, the farmers whom we took the rice from are ready to grow indigenous this year. So
Yeah,
almost
that's how you
400
build
farmers.
relationships. Yeah. That's, I think it's amazing
This
the
year
work
almost
you guys are doing.
So this year, almost 400 farmers in this region are going to grow indigenous food because they were helped during the stressed out time. So that was the amazing part about the whole experience of COVID-19,
Right.
like whatever the linkages were done.
I think
So,
this whole time has
so-
taught all of us a lot. Can I also like get to a couple of questions that people had, which is kind of related to what you guys are saying? A lot of people are asking what does Triple O stand for in the name of the company, Triple O Farms.
It is out of zero. We started from zero, so we named it out of zero.
That is so cool. I didn't know that. And yeah, another like just also, you know, all the work that you're doing is amazing because you're like working in so many different aspects, not just, you know, preserving the biodiversity or for the villages, for the farmers, even for our environment and the climate, or even kids. How does your business model work? I want people to understand how you bridge the gap between the farmer and the end consumer for people like us in the cities.
Okay. So about the business model, it's quite different from what usually it works because the word sourcing. I mean, most people either say we are working with farmers, we are sourcing with farmers. Ours is not just working with farmers or sourcing from farmers. What we do is right from the seed, we work right from the soil and the seed. So our relationship, I mean, it's not a business model as such. What we have done is we have been one of them. So now we are not the city guys who go and try to convince. We sit with the farmers. We give them seeds. The first thing what we do is we convince them to grow traditional grains, and then we give them seeds. The seeds are given free of cost. We do not charge a single rupee. On any given day, a paddy seed would cost you almost somewhere between 400 rupees to 1,000 rupees a kg. And we do not charge a single rupee. This year we have distributed more than 6 tons of paddy seeds just last month. So the first thing in the business model we do is we give them seeds free of cost. We assure them that if your soil is bad because of chemical farming of previous years, all the inputs, that is organic inputs needed, would be taken care by us. So that is where we do not allow even a single rupee to flow from a farmer's pocket into that farm field. Everything is being borne by Triple O Farms. So we work upon the organic inputs. We also teach them how to create your own manure. You do not have to depend upon other shops or anything to buy manure. We look after their crops till they are completely harvested. Even the harvesting part, we go and we watch it, how it has been done, what it has been done. In case if any farm field fails, which very rarely it has happened. And the only reason why it has happened is वो जंगली सुअर ने आके पूरा खा लिया रातों रात. This happens because ये animals को इतना पसंद आता है ना indigenous food, because it is their food also. So in case
That's where we
anything
should
happens,
learn from. They know what are the right things to eat.
Exactly.
Exactly. You know, tribals, they actually learn everything from the animals. So यहाँ पे उनका खेत अगर खराब हो गया ना, तो it's a non-written insurance. It's not written on paper, but we give them a compensation of what they had got it last year. जो भी उन्होंने उस जमीन से कमाया रहता, we try and give them a compensation, or we see to it that nothing goes wrong with that farmer. I mean, he's not distressed, he's not put into problem because he's growing indigenous grain. So doing this, what we do is we collect all the varieties. Even transport, even the transport does not. They do not have to transport it. We go to their farm fields and we do the transportation part of it. Then we grade the whole grain into seeds and what we have to sell. So seed wala is the one which is a very best grain. Because you need to
Right.
get it back to the soil and grow it nicely. And then फिर वो यहाँ पे आता है, we pack it, we create awareness camps in cities, like mostly festival kind of a thing. You have been to
Right.
Wild Food Festival or Rice Festival.
Right.
That is where people get aware about all this thing. If you talk about rice, people know rice only as brown rice, red rice, black rice.
Or white and white rice and basmati.
Or the
Internationally, basmati has become the identity of our country.
And we do not sell basmati. We do not even intend to grow it. Not that we do not like that rice. It's a good rice. But it is just a good rice. We have great rice. We do not have to. Basmati is just a well marketed kind of a grain.
Correct.
But आप दूसरे grains देखोगे, they are even wonderful than that. So people know only this kind, and it's not their fault. It's because we have not made them aware about it. तो हम लोग ने क्या किया? We have collected all these hundreds of rice. We create a rice festival. We create a Wild Food Festival. In that time, during that time, we cook like rice festival. We had cooked 40 types of rice with 40 different
I don't
recipes.
think I've gone beyond 4 in my life.
So, and then we have such different rice. People are bashing rice against millets. कि rice छोड़ दो और millet खाओ. Millet is a wonderful grain. There is no doubt about it. But rice is not a bad grain. It is also equally wonderful. So ये जो bashing होता है, we try and cover that. We try to explain that why rice has got a bad tag is because over a period of time we have started polishing it so much कि उसमें से कुछ नहीं निकलता है. So this
The
is how-
nutrition value is kind of gone. You're just eating starch.
Yes. Like I'll tell you, we have one rice. Okay, we have taken out nutrition value of some rices. So एक rice है stony. It is neither black in color. It is neither red in color. It is dirty white, somewhat brown in color. Okay. अभी वो राइस को आप देखोगे ना तो इतना अट्रैक्टिव भी नहीं है और उसमें से अरोमा भी नहीं आता है. No one knows about this rice. And it has the highest nutrition in Maharashtra. You would be surprised to know the amount of calcium it has. It has almost like 300 milligrams in 100 grams of rice, which is
Wow.
equal to your ragi, which is almost equal to 3 glasses of milk. So, आप वो बासमती में से, you know what is the amount of calcium? It is just somewhere around 11 or 13 milligrams. So you can see the difference. 11, 13 milligrams and 300 milligrams. So if you consider the nutrition of basmati and this indigenous grains, it is almost 10, 15 times. The variation is 10, 15x. So itna sara hai. So we try to create an awareness at the city level. And during that awareness, people try and understand. So this is our business model, going to the farmers, convincing them to grow it, taking care of everything, right from soil, seed, harvest, getting it back. And they are paid on the fields itself. The farmers are paid on the fields. It's not कि हम आपका ले लेंगे और बाद में pay करेंगे. We did that only with traders. Only with traders कि हम आपका लेंगे और बाद में दे देंगे. That is traders जिनके साथ हम plastic में deal करते to pack it और machines में deal करते. Only with that, those guys we did it. But with farmers, it was on that very day we have paid it. So farmers को उसी वक्त पैसा मिल जाता है. So this is our whole model, and they are paid almost like what they would be earning in 5 years. To some crops, what they would be earning in 10 years was sub 8 year mein mila. So this is our business model. We do not know it's good, bad, sustainable. We do not know about it. We cannot even claim it's sustainable, but we believe it has to be this way. If you're not paying for the nutrition, you would end up getting what you're getting right now. And all the money is going to go where right now it is going. The hospitals.
Correct.
If you want to have good nutrition, you have to pay the farmer very well. If you're going to pay the farmer very well, he's a good man or she's a very good person. They are going to grow very good food for you. So you shouldn't be questioning कि ऑर्गेनिक इतना महंगा क्यों है? It's not expensive. Organic is not expensive. The
Correct.
food that you are eating is very cheap. There is a difference between these two. जो आप खा रहे हो इतना सस्ता है, इतना सस्ता बांग्लादेश में भी नहीं मिलता है. So please do not question what the farmers are earning. They are not earning at all. At all means at all. I mean, if you try to analyze the cost price of a rice, Arina, it comes around somewhere 200 rupees a kg. Still, we are lacking to give that kind of a price to a farmer. अगर 200 रुपया किलो आता है cost price, how did we calculate this? There are certain parameters. If you try to put in the man hours, the soil degradation level, and everything, I mean the seeds and every सबका value निकालोगे तो 200 rupees के पास आता है. And at what rate are we buying rice at? 50, 60 rupees kolam, 100 rupees basmati, or what? Even we are selling it at 150 on an average. So even that is not the cost price of the rice. So understanding this, more than understanding the business model, I would tell the viewers, business model is secondary. What is primary is give a price to farmer who is doing good farming. Not just institutes like us. ऐसा जरूरी नहीं आप हमसे ले लो. You can buy it from good farmers who are doing good farming. Please try to go and understand that thing. That is a business model. कि उसको आप अच्छा प्राइस दो, he'll grow good food for you. He's growing good food for you. Nutrition in you is good. Then you do not have to go on SOS कि वो immunity booster और वो सब जो भी हम खरीद रहे अभी right now in that COVID-19.
Yeah. I think we should have a good relationship with our farmers so that we don't have to have a relationship with our doctors. It's time to break up with our doctors and start having a relationship with our farmers.
Right.
But yeah, guys, thank you so much. And I want to not just thank you for this interview, but I want to thank you for all the work you guys have been doing for the community as a whole, for the farmers. And I think you're doing a favor to us city dwellers as well, to educate us so much and to make sure that we're getting good food, because a lot of us who probably are busy with our daily lives wouldn't have the chance to even go to a region like you guys are in to even discover that, oh, something like this exists. So I love that you guys are bridging the gap and the work that you guys are doing. So thank you so much for doing this for me and for all and from everybody else around who's been watching.
Thank you for having us and all those people who are behind you who have made this happen. Thank you so much. We'll just show you once.
I want to take a small
yes, please. I was just going to say that before we say goodbye, you can give us a quick tour of the farm. I think everybody will just. This is our holiday now, everybody, because we're sitting in our home. This is our vacation.
So this is come on. So this is Talasari seed plot. It's not a farmland growing for abundance. This is a seed plot. So these are millet plots.
These two here.
So these are millet plots. ये पूरा millet है वहाँ तक. Okay.
This one.
This has been sowed yesterday
and
only.
this one as well.
Okay.
Are you able to see, guys?
Yeah. You can see the lines, like we can see the rows.
Yes.
So sowing has been done yesterday.
Right. Yeah, it's visible. Yep.
Yeah. So this is all millet plot. So we are growing seeds over here for millets. Then come, आजा. वो तेरा मोबाइल कौन सा? आजा. Yeah. So this one is. Oh, can you see this?
Yeah.
ये वाला.
Yeah.
So ये पूरा okra है okra. Different varieties of okra.
Okay, that's amazing. Yeah, again, see, most of us living in a city only know the green okra, but after, as I've been studying more, I've realized, okay, there is different kinds, and there's the red and the elephant tusk and this and that. But for most of us who've grown up in cities, we only know one type of bhindi, the plain normal green one.
So we have around 19 varieties of okra.
Wow. Sorry, what? 19?
Yes, 19.
Okay. I'm still at 3. Okay. I'm serious. Where can I sign up? I don't want this city life anymore.
You're most welcome to just drop in anyhow, whenever you want to. There is so much to learn. Even we are learning each and everything every single day.
So these are
get over, then we can
red corn.
Do
red corn seed plot.
Now these are the ones which is the red corn. Once it grows up, it's going to be even more beautiful than what it is today.
ये सब turmeric है?
These are turmeric. Can you see this?
Yeah. Yeah. You can see the
Can you see this?
This is
The pod
Amba.
started.
Yeah. Oh
So
wow,
this is Amba.
that is so cool. See, I have a long list of people ready to come with me to the farm. I just need to like hire a bus. Just give us a date. Just give us a date.
See, this is करेला अपना bitter gourd, लेकिन छोटा
Right.
version. Almost
okay.
like 4 centimeter या 5 centimeter आता है.
Wow.
इतना छोटा है इसमें.
I mean, see, this is the size of the hand, and this is how it is.
Oh my god, that's so cute. Like even though I don't like Karela, I would still probably think about eating that one because it's so cute.
Now, even these are a few ones.
Okay.
So this is Kala Gilka. This one.
Even
Gilka is.
Indians won't know. I don't expect any of my international friends to know this either.
Oh, okay. No, sponge gourd.
Oh, okay.
So this
Is
is
it
a
what they
black.
make those natural loofahs with? No, that's different. No?
Yeah, this is a black sponge gourd,
Okay.
and this one is more greenish and whiter sponge gourd.
Okay.
This one.
Oh wow. Okay. Very cool.
Yeah. Then this one. Can you see this one?
Yeah. What are those?
That is dangar bopra. That is pumpkin, the bigger pumpkins. The huge pumpkin.
Wow. Okay.
So,
Are the
so
leaves
they
also
can grow-
edible? Are pumpkin leaves also edible? I've
Yeah.
only seen them. Okay.
Even with the karela, even with the bitter gourd, the leaves are edible. Even with the gilka, that is sponge gourd, the leaves are edible. The stem are edible.
See, most
even
of us,
with
that's
the
the thing. So much of the gap in food supply or food access can be lessened or bridged because all we know is we get the vegetable or the fruit itself, right? We're not taught about the
Right.
different parts of that same crop that can be eaten, so that's just more food and more nutrition for people. We're not told
Right.
that. We're not taught that. We don't see it on shelves. We don't see it with the bhajiwalas. I think that is a need of the hour right now, where we know that the different parts of the plant can also be eaten and not just the fruit or vegetable itself.
Now we are also working with something with tubers for
Right.
getting rid of. I mean, if there is a drought, so we think if you have tubers, you would get rid of the drought.
Right.
So we have sown lots of tubers. So this is one of it. In Marathi, it is known as karande or aerial potato.
Right. Yeah, I've heard of those. I've seen them a couple of times, but yeah, I've heard of these.
Yeah. So we have sown loads of tubers over here. What we are going to do is we are going to practice tuber growing in this village just as a model for if there is a drought, they do not have to depend upon food or just cry upon it.
Right.
You just have to dig your soil. उसके नीचे से आपको खाना मिल जाएगा. So food is grown above the soil and below the soil. We
Right,
are just
yeah. So I
concentrating
think
on above the soil.
Earth just provides. Earth provides. You just have to know what is edible or what is how to use what, and I think the tribals are the best source of that knowledge.
Abhay. So this is another variety of pumpkin. The first one which we showed was dangar pumpkin. Dangar pumpkin
Okay.
can grow as huge as a human. And
What? Sorry.
almost,
What?
yeah. You've heard the right thing. If you leave it for years, it's going to grow as huge as a human. If you
So it
know
doesn't like
in
rot.
Marathi,
Like most fruit rots, right? Or most vegetables rot if you don't harvest
it
them
does
on
not
time or
rot if
they.
it gets everything proper. It does not get rot. So it keeps on growing. And
Please, just for my
you know,
sake,
in
grow
Marathi-
one, okay? Just like grow one. So I want to see it someday.
Yeah, sure,
Grow
sure.
one.
So in Marathi,
Even if
there's
it's the
a
size of a human child, I don't need an adult. Even if it's a child, I'm happy with that. But I want to see it, okay?
Oh, definitely. So in
See, we have
Marathi,
proof.
there's
We have enough witnesses. We have this on record, okay? We're going to get one human child-sized
of
pumpkin one day.
course. You know, in Marathi, there is a poem known as Chal Re Bhopra Tunuk Tunuk. I'm not sure. So
Would never know.
I mean, it only means, oh pumpkin, walk with me. That only meant in those days, people were growing pumpkin as huge as a human.
Oh, wow, I
So,
can be your little
abhi-
friend. That is so cool.
Yeah. So
What?
we are going to keep one, going to grow that huge.
Ganesh will have to move.
So this is the black turmeric आने वाला है इसमें.
Yeah. Can you see this part?
Yeah,
You
yeah,
see
I
the
can see the
leaf.
roots and yeah.
That's
Yeah.
different
Yes.
from the other leaf. It has a black
Right, it's got
thing
that
in
black line in the middle, yeah.
We should go for the rice plot also. There's time to do that.
अच्छा time कम है क्या?
हाँ.
So just a cat. ये सब है ना? Just show them this bill.
This one.
Just zoom out a little bit.
Is this
there.
okay now?
Yep, perfect.
Yeah.
So all this is having almost like 50 varieties of beans and vegetables. ये पूरे इसमें. There's
Wow.
a seed plot for 50 varieties of beans and vegetables, and also for 4 types of turmeric. So I'll show you rice plot.
Now we'll head towards the rice plot because these are
Okay.
the vegetables, the tubers, and all these
I
things.
could, we could all just sit and do this all day, man. This is insane. We should do like a part 2 for this also.
That is
I will
probably what we are doing right now.
Yeah, probably. I think most people have come and gone and come back also. Probably.
So can you see this?
Do you see these
Yes.
things?
Yeah, the
Uh,
bright green little
this-
patches, yeah.
This.
So
Yeah,
different
These
varieties
are
of
the different patches of the rice plots which we've done.
Okay.
So we've done almost like 70 varieties of rice, but some have failed. It did not turn up. We are going to replant them.
Okay.
So right now we might be having more than 45
We have a
varieties of
question. We have a question. Somebody's asking about your irrigation methods. How do you all irrigate? Be it at the farms or even at the seed plots.
seed plots, only monsoon.
Okay.
So we depend upon rain.
Okay.
We strongly believe farming has to be done from what you get from the rains. We strongly
Correct.
believe that, but ideally it does not happen that way.
Right.
So for seed plots, we usually only depend upon monsoon. But our farmers, we explain them, don't get water from the ground. It's not meant for farming. But you
Correct.
cannot convince the farmer completely.
Basically, we try to tell them that the groundwater already has a lot of minerals, and it is job of a
Right.
plant to fix minerals in the soil.
Right.
So basically, when we are giving that water back to the plants, it's water full of minerals which is given to the plants. So that's
Right.
not its job to digest that water.
Correct.
We tell them to avoid that water and use fresh water for farming. They can have
Right.
tanks, they can have things like that which can be used.
लेकिन mountain पे I'd like to tell the viewers, the farming does not happen throughout the year. It only happens till March. Monsoon mein it's all about paddy because that is the only crop which can take so much of water.
Water,
The
right.
misconception is rice requires water. That is not true. It is
can
only
survive
rice which
in water. That's why, right?
yes, it survives in excessive water. So paddy होता है monsoon में and millets होता है. उसके बाद जैसे ही monsoon खत्म होता है ना, they go on for beans. और beans खत्म होता है ना, वैसे they sow wheat. And wheat almost March तक होता है. And then they do not irrigate a single. I'm telling all the viewers, not a single drop of water is irrigated in all these fields. Everything is only through rainwater. It does not rain throughout March. It rains almost till Diwali. But since it's a mountain area and they have that forest cover, their lands are wet almost till March. Though the rivers are dry, लेकिन land wet होता है, उनका जमीन wet होता है. हाँ, और वो wet जमीन पे and dew drop पे, I mean most people would find it very surprising that वो जो हरभरा आता है या वो जो दाल आती है या pulses आते हैं, that comes on dew drop and not on irrigation on mountain.
I think Ajinkya from Two Brothers is here, and he's asking us a question of which is the oldest variety.
Right,
That we
variety
grow.
of rice. And
Yeah, so
also the
oldest
rice
variety
name.
of
If you
rice-
can also just tell us the name of the rice again that you said has the highest calcium content.
That's stony rice.
Stony.
Stony, correct.
It's called stony ambe more.
Oh,
So
lovely.
it's not
a
an
variety of
ambe moor. It's
Yeah,
a variety
variety
of
of
ambe.
The oldest rice that we know of is Devbhat, but Devbhat comes in the wild.
Guys,
And
we're
the
on the
oldest-
last 20 seconds on this live will end. So for all the guys who have
Okay, okay.
questions, you can either send me the questions or I will save this in IGTV. You can post the questions again in comments and we'll all try and answer them. Thank you so much, guys.
yes.
I'm going
Thank
to
you.
save this video for everybody else to share and watch. But
Absolutely,
yeah,
absolutely. It was a
thank
pleasure,
you
guys.
so much
Bye,
for
bye.
doing
Thank you.
this. Bye.
Thank
See you.
Thank you for having
Thank
us.
you.